Hi, everyone. It is so good to see you. As we are letting everyone kind of get in and find us and get the link and show up and figure out where we are, I would love to see where you are coming from and where you're watching from. So far, I'm seeing everywhere from Cape Cod to Qatar. I see some of our Creative Circle members. I saw Rosanna and Amy in here. It's so good to see all of you all. Sharon is from Tampa Bay, just across the water from us here in sunny St. Pete, Florida. I did want to tell all of you that today there are no supplies needed. This is purely a teaching presentation where I teach you about some of the things, some of the art fundamentals that really help your paintings pop. You're not going to need any supplies. I'm not going to be painting today, but I am going to give you some really good tips and tricks for that. Now, if you have questions during the presentation, you can go ahead and put them in the comments and put question in all caps and then put your question. And we have Rosie and Laura and Jen are in the comments helping you with your questions. If it's something that I need to answer, I'm going to take your questions at the end. So remember, if you have a question about anything that I'm teaching today, put question and then go ahead and put your question and we'll try to get to everyone today. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get the presentation started. Anytime we do anything public, I just want to tell you that not only am I so happy for you to be here, but I'm human. I get a little bit of stage fright. About 5 minutes before we started, I spilled water all down the front of me and I was like, oh my gosh, of course. Of course. So we're all human. None of us are perfect. And I want you to remember this about your art journey is that even myself, who I do this for my job, I'm not perfect. And that's part of what makes our art so special. So I'm going to show you today how you can make the shift from looking at your paintings and going, ugh, it's a hot mess, but I don't know why, to finishing a painting of your own and being able to identify and fix the things that make your eye twitch so that your friends then say, holy cow, did you paint that? How many of you, first of all, in the comments, I want to see how many of you have ever kind of looked at your painting and been like, something's wrong, but I can't quite figure out what it is. Throw me some help. Give me a line. Throw in the comments if that's ever been you. It's been me, especially when I first got going. I'd finish a painting and I'd be like, I just don't get it. I don't know what's wrong with it. So we've all been there, first of all. And I want to take a moment and let you know that being able to do this and fix the things and do your own paintings is not an impossible task. And I want to highlight one of our Creative Circle students here, Becca. She's found the confidence to start creating her own artwork. Here's what she had to say about it. She painted a view of the North River near Beaufort, North Carolina. I snapped my reference photo out of the truck window as we were driving. I used what I learned from Shelby's previous marsh lessons. So I want to show you guys what the point that you can eventually get to in your paintings. She was driving, she snapped this out of the window, and then she was able to make it into her own painting. And then she did this other painting that I just think is so incredibly special. She painted a protea flower to give as a hostess gift to her dear friends from South Africa. And the protea is the national flower of South Africa. So, I mean, just imagine how cool it would be to be able to give such a personalized gift to somebody that's their story and means that much to them. Like, how cool is that? Yeah, so I see all of you in the comments saying, yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Agnes says, sometimes I just sit back and tell myself, you have no idea what you're doing. Bab says she rarely seems good enough or finished. I see lots of yes, yes, absolutely. For me, it usually feels like an absence of depth. So yeah, we're all there. We're all doing it. We all have those moments. And I want you to know that you're not alone. But we can get past that together. So really quickly, before I get into the full presentation, I want to take a minute and I want to show you all how I use my phone for better paintings. And I use this in the middle of my painting process a lot of times to see if I'm going in the right direction. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on my phone. And for those of you with Android systems, I'm sorry, I'm an Apple user. I give tutorials on Apple, so maybe we have some Android people that can help. So this is what I do to help check my painting to see if it's going in the right direction. I pull it up in the Photos app, and this is just a snap with my phone. It hasn't been edited. This is actually, in a few weeks, we're going to be doing a big group workshop, and this is the painting we're going to be painting. So in order to check and see if this painting pops, to see if it's a great dynamic painting, I take a picture of it, and then I'll pull it into my Photos app. And anytime you want to edit a photo, I always recommend you first duplicate it. So I click those 3 buttons in the right corner and I duplicate. And then with that duplicated picture, I'll just crop it really quickly so that you only see the painting. It doesn't have to be a perfect crop. We mostly just want to make sure we're just looking at the painting and there's not a lot of extra stuff. Then the next thing I do is I go to the bottom and I select grayscale. I go to mono. That's an easy grayscale one. And I see, does this painting grab my attention in black and white? Because if it grabs your attention in black and white, it's gonna look great in color. If it doesn't grab your attention in black and white, you might need to go back to the drawing board and figure out why. That's step 1 of seeing if there's a problem with your painting, seeing if you need to fix or change something. Because really dynamic paintings that like grab your attention from across the room look incredible in black and white. So then what I do is I click back on the bottom on the crop feature. It's the kind of spinny circle looking one. What I do is I get a little crazy. So Pat has a great question. Why do I duplicate this? I duplicate the picture so that if I make any changes and edits to it, it doesn't change the original photo. So I always have the original photo for myself. So when I'm in black and white, I go back to the crop feature, and then up in the left-hand corner, there are a couple little boxes with arrows on them. One of them is called the mirror, or like it flips it, and the other one rotates it. So what I do is I flip it, and I see, okay, if it's facing in the other direction, does it still have that impact? If it still has that impact, that's great. Then what I'll do, I'll rotate it. I'll turn it sideways. Is it still interesting? Have I kept my focus out of the center? And I'll turn it upside down, do the same thing. Our eyes might, at this point, especially if you're upside down and it's something that should be recognizable, our eyes might fight this because your brain wants to translate this into something that we know and see. So at that point, I'll just kind of squint. But then I'll flip it again, I'll mirror it, I'll turn it upside down, I'll turn it sideways. I basically try and turn it every which way and make sure that it's still interesting. If it's still interesting, if I still like it, then I know I'm on the right track. So if it's not, if I turn it every which way, and maybe I turn it upside down, sideways, and to the right, and I don't like it, I might need to go back and like check the composition and check the value pattern. So that is a really quick way that you can use your phone and just take a quick snap of a painting to check your progress and see what you're doing. And, some people will use a mirror, some people will use different things they'll just turn the painting upside down. You can do that. But I found if you use a photo on your phone, it kind of detaches you from the painting. When you put it on the phone, it removes, like, when you look at a painting, you see everything around the painting. It kind of removes all of that noise so you can focus on it a little bit better. Now that I've shown you how to use your phone to just like check your progress on your paintings, I want you to turn off all distractions. Put the dog out of the room, tell your husband that you're focusing, come back to me so that I can keep teaching you and you can really get the most out of what we're talking about today. So you're probably here for a couple reasons. Number one, maybe you're curious. You want to paint something, but you're not sure where to start. You've seen those paintings when you've driven by a gallery and you've been driving and you've wanted to stop and you're like, whoa, what is that? How do I get that? How do I do that? How do I create a show-stopping, head-turning painting? You want to do that. You want to put your own mark on the world in some way. Or maybe you're excited. Maybe you've done some wine and design nights. You love slinging paint. You love the colors and creating something. You'd like to create your own paintings, but you're not sure what the next step is. Or maybe you're joyful. You're an eternal hobbyist. You love creating things for the pure joy of creation. Starting and finishing a project makes you happy. You often want to give your creations to friends and family, and you want to keep learning for yourself. It's the process that you love. You just do it because you enjoy the doing of the thing, and you don't mind if you hang it on your own wall or give it away, or just completing it brings you happiness. So which one are you? Are you a curious beginner? Are you an excited student? Or are you a joyful creator? Tell me in the comments. Are you a 1, 2, or 3? I see 3, a joyful creator. I see excited student, 1, curious beginner, 2, 3. So whatever your motivation, I want you to know that I am here to support you in your journey. Now, I'm going to introduce myself just in case we haven't yet formally met. I know we have a lot of new people here today. My name is Shelby Dillon. These are some pictures of me and my family. My daughter, Rory, is 10. Today was actually her first day of 5th grade. My husband, Joe, is in the energy industry. And that is Ziggy, our rabbit, who has the most enviable mohawk mane that I have ever seen. This rabbit, he's got the coolest hairstyle that I wish I had. We love traveling together. We lived overseas for almost a decade. And, now we live on the west coast of Florida in the Tampa Bay area. About 75% of my time is spent in the studio either teaching or painting. What I do for fun is I play kickball on the weekends and a couple nights a week just for fun. I'm not very good at it, but I have a great time with it. And we try to get at least one stamp on our passport a year. Since we lived internationally, I love going back overseas and seeing different things and different cultures and getting to travel and do and see. So, but here's what I want you to really know about me. I'm really, genuinely, truly excited to teach you some of these fundamentals of art today. And that's because I've taught over 12 workshops at this point online just in the last few years. And in those 12 workshops, I've had over 10,000 students come through the workshops, which kind of just boggles my mind that I've worked with that many people. And most of them have never painted before or are beginner artists. So, my specialty and what I love doing is working with beginners and people just getting going. And I've also had 15 years as a professional artist selling my work across the world, everywhere from Australia to Singapore, Switzerland, here in America. So I know as a professional artist, like what works, what sells, what resonates with people. And I know as a teacher over these last few years, from seeing the success of my students, I know what works and what just leads to frustration. So I'm really excited to be here with you today to help give you a little bit of that jump start. So can you imagine being able to create a beautiful painting from a photo reference to finish all on your own? Give me a yes in the comments if you'd like to be able to get to that point in your art. Let me know if you want to be able to go like Becca from your own concept in your head to a finished painting all by yourself. Terry Ann says yes. Lynn says yes. Susie says yes. So imagining and creating your own artwork is the single most precious way to make a positive impact and bring joy into the world. Your story matters, and this is something that I lead with truly in my heart. I think we all should be telling our story and bringing it to the world from a place of joy, and I think it's a small little thing, but I think it really makes the world a better place. The secret to dynamic paintings and having that attention-grabbing painting, it really comes down to 3 simple things. I'm serious. I'm not pulling your leg. It's that simple, and there's no tricks. So here's what we're going to go over today. I'm going to go over the 3 secrets. The first is make sure to check your composition. The second is to verify your values. And then third, you get to get creative with your colors. And then after I've gone through the 3 things that really help a painting pop, I'm going to show you some ways that you can bring that and start using it to improve your artwork. And then finally, at the end, I'm going to have a live Q&A. So once again, if you have questions throughout this, I'll be answering them at the end, and be sure to put question and then your question so that we know and we can get to them. So the 3 secrets to paintings that pop are: number 1, to check your composition; number 2, to verify your values; and then number 3, then you get to get creative with your colors. Composition is the secret sauce to a gorgeous painting. A fancy technique cannot save a poor composition. And I'm going to use myself as an example for most of this teaching. This is the painting that I did 15 years ago when I was like, I'm going to be an artist. I've decided I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to improve my skills. It can't be that hard. I got this. I'm going to do the thing. This was my first painting, and I remember being so proud of it and being like, look at what I can do. And my brushwork has improved some, my color mixing has improved some, but more so than those 2 things, my ability to create a composition that pops has really gotten better and improved. So how can this composition improve? Let me see if any of you in the comments can tell me how I could have improved this composition straight off the bat. So I'll go ahead and give you a hint. This bullseye is the hint. One of the easiest things to fix in a composition is to make sure you don't put your center of interest in the center. Look at this. First of all, that's a mango. If any of you are wondering what the really weird colored misshapen apple is, that's a mango. I've learned a lot about setting up still lifes, and one of the things I've learned is mangoes are a really tough fruit to paint because they don't have a regular shape and they change colors. So maybe one of the things I've learned is not have mangoes. You learn to play to your strengths. But also, I put this in the center. Look at that mango. It's dead center. Where it overlaps with the lime is dead center. Where all of those fruit interact is right in the center. The mango runs right up the center line. And so when we put something in the center, it's like a bullseye. Our eye goes to the bullseye, but then it leaves again because everything's in the center and there's nothing kind of bringing our eye throughout the painting. Our eyes want to be entertained. If everything is obvious and laid out, we get bored. You know, we need a little stimulation, and we need to not have everything spelled out for us, obviously. So in order to create a beautiful painting, do I need to be a professionally trained expert? I'm going to counter this thought that a lot of us have, that we need to be professionally trained with years and years and years of experience. And I'm going to say, I don't think you need to be a professionally trained expert. I'm not. I never went to art school. I'm mostly self-taught. It's your willingness to believe in your abilities and to take yourself seriously that make you an artist. You are an artist. And everyone watching today, if you feel like you are an artist, right now, I want you to type in the comments, I am an artist. So you do not need to be an expert. You just need to learn how to create a good composition. If you've been through any of my workshops or classes, I stress composition a lot. I talk about composition all the time. It's what I like to call the bones of a painting. It's like the framing of a house. If you have a good framework and a good plan, then you'll have a good, strong painting. If your foundation is weak, if you don't have the framework properly set up and thought through, no amount of fancy technique or colors can save your painting. And look at this. We have so many people saying, I am an artist. Norma, Vicky, Susie, Glenda. I see so many artists in here. Sharon is definitely an artist. It is so good to see all of you ready to take on art. You are an artist. As long as you are bound and determined to be an artist, you're going to get there. So I want you to take a moment and look. These are two paintings done by me about 10, 15 years apart. My brushwork and my color mixing isn't exceptionally different on the two of them. What's different is my composition. What we call the icing, the technique, all the fancy stuff that gets a lot of the glory, that's not that different between these two. What's truly different is the composition. So, the one on the right just has a much more dynamic composition. The lemons aren't dead center. They kind of lead your eye. There's a lot of diagonals that entertain and kind of make you curious about what's behind. And on the left, the still life, it's just kind of there. There's not much going on with it. There's a lot more excitement in the lemons than there is in my mangoes, my poor sad mangoes, y'all. I want to take a moment and highlight one of our Creative Circle students that has been killing it lately. This is Sandra. She's a Creative Circle student. She's been with us for 3 years. And I love how she started, because she really started with the scale builders, doing brushwork exercises, learning about her tools, learning about her materials. She would do value studies, and now she's doing all kinds of incredible studies and artwork on her own. And before she started with us in the Creative Circle, she'd never picked up a brush before. And for all of you that worry about how much time that you have, and worry about your husband and kids being really messy and dirty and having to clean up after them, I'm going to tell you right now, Sandra has got you beat. She has 72 kids. 72 kids. Now, those are not human children, they are goats. But her date, and not only is she a goat farmer, but she has a day job. She has a full-time day job as a scientist. So she works 40 hours a week as a scientist, and she also has all kinds of farm chores to take care of her very extensive furry family. Her and her husband take care of 70 plus goats very humanely and compassionately. And Sandra's she doesn't always have time every day, but she tries to sneak in a half an hour or an hour as often as she can. And she has made incredible progress over 3 years. So any of us that think we don't have enough time because the kids are destroying the house, I know somebody that's got you beat. You can do whatever you want as long as you put your mind to it and decide that you're going to take the time to do it. So the first secret that we went over about paintings that pop is to check the composition. Next, we're going to talk about verifying your values. So value creates interest. If you get the values correct, you can use any color you want. So let's take a second and look at the value pattern of these lemons. They look really, really fun in black and white as well. They're still dynamic. There's still a lot of interest. It still leads your eye. It still pops. Now, I want to know how many of you start mixing colors and you stop paying attention to how light or dark a color is. Raise your hand, throw a me, it's me. If you start mixing a color and you're just thinking pink, if you're just thinking yellow, if you're just thinking teal, and you stop paying attention to how light or dark the color is, you're not thinking light red, light pink, light yellow, dark yellow. Oh yes, I'm seeing lots of people have this happen. You start thinking color and you stop thinking value. Well, that's what happened to me with these mangoes. Well, there's only one mango, but you know what I mean. I was mixing colors for the mango and I was thinking it needs to be red, it needs to be green, and I wasn't paying attention to how light or dark the color was. Years later, when I took this black and white, I made the photo black and white and I looked at it, I was like, duh, that's what's wrong with this painting. When you look at it, this is kind of all the same middle gray. There's not much white. There's no like bright highlights, and there's no really, really dark darks. It's pretty much all the same grays, and that's kind of boring, right? Well, what is value? Value, very simply, is how light or dark something is. Every painting has a value pattern or a pattern of lights and darks that you can see when you look at the painting in black and white. Every color has value, and oftentimes our brains try to tell us something is a color, but we need to learn to see it in value. So, it can be challenging to nail the value in the color mass. But I want to highlight another one of our Creative Circle members. Joan is problem solving for herself. And there's a couple things I want to highlight about Joan and what she did. Number one, she created her own painting from her own photo reference. And she got to a point, she was like, I'm not sure what to do. I want to continue with this painting. It's a small study that I want to do for a bigger painting, but I'm stuck. So she posted this in our Creative Circle group and asked for help from everyone else. So this is something that we really advocate for in the Creative Circle or VIP membership, is helping each other and learning through teaching. So by helping each other, you reinforce what you're learning because you're teaching somebody else. And not only do they learn, but you reinforce what you've already learned. So it's this really incredible self-fulfilling process that brings everyone up together, and I adore it and love it. She got some critiques, and then she did the second painting. And, can you see how she took her painting from kind of all the same to it grabs your attention so much more? Here's what she had to say about it. Thanks to everyone who gave me suggestions for my Scotland painting. I believed I've solved some of the things that were bothering me. I followed a number of your suggestions, including increasing the contrast and brightening up the green. I tried to move the focus away from the center, but I'm afraid that ship sailed. Now I'd like to do it in a larger format than this 8x10. So she looked at the value pattern, she increased the lights, made the dark stronger, pushed some things to the back, and she looked for help from others, got that feedback, learned a lot, and since she did this as a small study, she saw the problems that needed to be fixed and hadn't invested 20 hours into a painting. One of the biggest things we talk about is doing things small and quick and fast so that you can solve these problems. You can get to a point, solve it, move on before you get to a big painting. So even though she figured out her focal point is dead center, this is only an 8 by 10. It's a small study. So if she wants to do it bigger, she hasn't spent 20 hours and then all of a sudden saying, oh man, I have to fix the composition if I really want to make this a painting that pops. She's done it small, so she's already fixed the problem, addressed it, figured it out, and she can take it on with her process and hasn't lost a ton of time and energy. How brilliant is that? So, we've seen Becca. We've seen what she did with her marsh and her Protea flower. We've seen Sandra, who's been painting her goats in her farm life. And we've seen Joan, who's been painting Scotland in her travels. What would you paint if you could paint anything? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what you would want to paint if you could paint anything. One of our students, Nancy, she has found the confidence to start creating her own artwork as well. She painted the shed. I think this is an absolutely incredible story. The shed is in Nancy's backyard, and they're going to tear it down and build something else that fits the family a little bit better. But she wanted to remember the shed that's been back there for a while. It's interesting, it's cute, but it maybe doesn't fit them. And she's found a great way to memorialize this through this beautiful painting. And what I love is how unique this is. This is Nancy's story. This isn't a copy of someone else. This is Nancy remembering something that's special to her that she wants to carry forward. This is what being an artist is about, is our story. It's important. It can be something as basic as lemons, if you love lemons, or it can be something in your backyard, or it can be your travels. It's about your experience. So Kim would love to do beach. Lunardi would love to do trees and flowers. Christine would love to do her garden. Rosanna is going to do her cat who's crossed the rainbow bridge. Oh, I love that. So far we've gone over how to check your composition and verify your values. Next, we're going to get into creative color. This is the fun stage. This is the stage that gets all the glory. Enjoy the process. Remember, this is a journey. So as you get into creative color, I have a couple tips for you. Number one, go slower than you think. This is the stage where we want to think it's all about like a fancy technique or fun, crazy brush strokes, or you want to get into it and you want to just go, go, go. Well, I recommend go slower. Take moments and test your colors. Make sure it's the correct color. Acrylics dry 2 shades darker than what you mix. So make sure you're mixing the correct color and just put a little test bit on your painting before you proceed so that you make sure you're getting it right. And then once you have the color right, put your strokes down with a purpose. Make sure they say something. In the earlier stages, I'll scumble a lot. I'll kind of smush colors together and I'll smush brush strokes together, but I try to have the final stage be deliberate because I'm trying to create texture, trying to create flow, I'm trying to create movement, I'm trying to build interest in the painting. So in the final stage, try to put down your brush strokes with purpose. Clean your brush. If you are running into muddy colors a lot, make sure that you are cleaning your brush when you change colors. Sometimes your brush can get saturated with colors, like it can just kind of get inside the bristles. So make sure it's good and clean, especially if you're changing from like a blue to a yellow, or if 2 very, very different colors. Make sure you have a really, really clean brush in between putting down those strokes. And then thirdly, fall in love with the process. Don't worry about the finished product. Trust me, if you just focus on the process and focus on learning and improving and loving what you're doing, you're going to just naturally get better at it. You're going to make progress. And for this, I want to highlight another one of our Creative Circle members. So Diana had never painted before joining the Creative Circle. She's now creating her own artwork. It's been, I think, 2 years since Diana joined us. She took one of our lessons that we did a couple months ago. We did a swan, and it was about reflections on the water and whites, how to paint whites. And she says, I extended my lessons on whites and the water to a pelican. His beak was pretty fun. So Diana went from never painting before to doing this absolutely incredible painting in just a couple years. I'm loving, my students are making progress so much faster than I did. It took me like 10 years to be what I would think is a decent painter, and my students are making this massive progress. It is so cool to see. So the 3 secrets to paintings that pop are: number 1, conquer your composition; number 2, verify your values; and number 3, get creative with your color. Just remember, with time comes progress. It doesn't happen overnight, but I will say, with the help and the community and the learning that we're getting in the Creative Circle, my students are making much faster progress than I did, which is super cool to see. They're doing just an incredible job. So I want to know, would you rather paint for yourself, number 1, number 2, to gift to somebody else, or number 3, to sell? You know, any answer that you have is perfectly fine. There is no wrong answer. Just getting there and doing it for yourself is a wonderful idea. Giving it away, also a wonderful idea. Selling it, that's great too. You know, whatever reason why you come to the easel to put some joy out into the world is important. So Jean, I showed one of her paintings earlier. She is turning her life into beautiful original art for gifts. This was she did this of a friend's house to gift to the friend. And I think that's some of my favorite things I've seen in the Creative Circle is people doing these really incredible personal gifts for others, things that are deeply meaningful to other people. Your house, grandchild, a flower that's important, things that mean something, and being able to give it to somebody else, that is truly taking the joy in your heart and spreading it. And that's kind of my secret goal. That's my secret goal. Now, I want to highlight another one of our students that has made incredible progress. Julie, she is conquering clouds by painting on a regular basis. So Julie, when she first came to the Creative Circle, on the left, you are going to see one of our painting demonstrations that she did, and she followed along. Clouds have been the one thing Julie, not the one thing, but clouds have been the main thing Julie has really wanted to work on and conquer and feel accomplished with. And over the last 18 months, she has just said, I want to do clouds. I want to do clouds. Clouds are hard. And in the last 18 months, that painting on the right are Julie's clouds. And not only are they Julie's clouds, they are from her own reference photo that she took, and she started from scratch. She doesn't have to follow along anymore. She's doing it on her own. How absolutely incredible is that, y'all? So, would you like me to help you go from an unsure beginner to a confident artist as quickly as possible? Like I said, it took me like 10 years. And our students are doing it in far less time. There's a couple options in order to do this. Number 1, you can do it yourself. You can watch YouTube videos and step-by-step tutorials and slowly continue to build your painting skills, but you'll run the risk of being in the same place with no idea what to do next, and you're still going to be kind of unsatisfied. Or we can do it together. You can decide you want to learn and improve on your painting and do it with an incredible group of people. If I'm going to be honest, I'm hoping that you decide option 2. And so I'm going to let you guys know that for 24 hours only, the Creative Circle is open. This is our VIP membership. It is the only online community of its kind that shows you exactly how to see inspiration and turn it into dynamic, beautiful artwork that you are proud to show your friends and family. Here's what you're going to experience in the Creative Circle. You're going to have confidence to begin painting your own paintings. We have over 100 demo paintings to enjoy for yourself or to give to friends. You're going to get an understanding of the building blocks of dynamic art, and you're going to get confidence in using and choosing your tools. And then you're going to have peace and calm as you take time for yourself to expand your skills. I kind of want to show you how I'm different from other teachers and what makes it's not just the style that attracted you and makes you want to do this or the subject matter. What I'm different from other teachers is I like to teach you how to be artists. I don't want you to just paint like me. I give you step-by-step demonstrations and tutorials that are appropriate for beginners up to intermediate, but along the way, I'm kind of sneaky. I teach you how to become your own artist along the way, and that's really important to me. Jean is improvising paintings of her own. I've shown you a couple things that she's done already. This is actually our August Painting of the Month tutorial, and we have this in our Creative Circle vault. And instead of doing it as I painted it, she started doing her own colors. She had her own pattern. She made this her own. And so she's gone from painting along to improvising to totally doing her own paintings. And this is the progress that you make. This is my sneaky goal, is to get you from following along, which when you're a beginner, you have to. You don't know what you're doing. You have to follow along. You have to do what other people are doing. But my sneaky goal is to get you to be your own artist, doing your own paintings that mean something to you. So here's a sample of what the Creative Circle looks like. Here's what we're doing in August. So the first week, we do some kind of skill builder. It's the fundamentals of art, something that really helps you build the skills, the building blocks of becoming a better artist. It's composition, color mixing, how to paint fabric, how to do different textures. It's something different every month, and it's a theme. It's either pre-recorded or live. Even if you can't make it, we always have the replays available in our learning dashboard. That's the first week of the month. The second week of the month, we do a small painting study together as a skill builder. That's live, and so you can ask questions as we're going. You can interact. You can say, why are you mixing this color? Why are you doing that mark? It's really cool because we get to interact as I paint. Then the third week, what we do is we have a longer form painting demonstration. It's about an hour and a half long, 3 to 4 videos, and it tells you my entire thought process as I go from start to finish on a painting so that you can really understand why and how. And then finally, this might be my favorite part, we have a critique within the Creative Circle where we all help each other. You can submit your work, and I'm not the only one giving feedback and helping, but our entire group is, so that we all learn and become better together. It's such a powerful thing that we've seen so far. So here's some of the things that you're going to learn. You're going to learn about your materials. You're going to learn color, how to mix it, what to do with it. Composition, you're going to learn how to make a good composition. You'll learn value and how to see it. You're going to learn different temperature of colors and perspective. Now, the complete Creative Circle membership is a $1,500 value. We have over 40 months of content and lessons available for you. So we have over 40 full painting demonstrations in addition to an entire vault of smaller smaller studies to do and paint-alongs. We have over 100 total for you. We also have videos, PDFs, and reference photos, and a complete supply list. Now, if y'all know me, you know that I can't resist doing something without a bonus. So if you join in the next 24 hours, we have our sunflower workshop, which is going to be airing in a couple weeks. And if you were to buy that as a standalone workshop where you get a year's access, that's $75. So that is included. All of our Creative Circle members get access to any of our public workshops. Now, like I told you, I'm not extra special. I'm mostly self-taught. I didn't have access to exclusive experts, talent, technology, or resources. I've just developed this proven way of how to paint. And as soon as I started discovering that, I just started having massive breakthroughs. And now our students are as well, and that's so cool to see. So the second bonus is we are going to be releasing a members-only barn tutorial, which is also a $75 value, and that is going to be available the first week of September. So you get Sunflower Workshop and this barn tutorial if you join in the next 24 hours. So here's a couple things that we've painted over the last couple months. Actually, today, all of our Creative Circle members are going to get that palm tree. It just launched today in our members dashboard. Last week, we did the seashells. Oh my gosh, everyone loved the seashells. And then we did the swan in June. And next month, we're going to be doing trees and atmospheric perspective. Now, I want you to be 100% satisfied with your art journey. Just know that you can cancel at any time. We want this to be a positive experience, and we want you to be here because you want to be here. So don't worry, you can always cancel. It happens. So the third thing that we're going to do is that during our workshop, the week of September 11th, we are going to be having a live VIP Zoom hangout just for Creative Circle members. So if you join now, you're going to get access to that. That is going to be the evening of Tuesday, September 12th. So we get to hang out. You get to meet people. We're going to be doing some fun stuff in the studio. So bonus number 1, you get the Sunflower Workshop. Bonus number 2, you get the barn. And bonus number 3 is you get the live VIP Zoom hangout with the Creative Circle on Tuesday, September 12th. So all of this 40 months of content would have cost you $1,500, but right now you can get it for $39 a month and get instant access. Or if you want to save 20%, you can get it for $390 if you want to pay annually. So we have two options. You can pay monthly for $39 or annually for $390. Do want to say, not only do you save 20% on the annual, but we also have 9 extra workshop demos for you if you join annually that you get instant access to. And all you have to do is go to paintwithshelby.com/join. This is only open for 24 hours, and this is the only time we're going to do this. So here's what's going to happen when you join the Creative Circle. You're going to get over that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you sit down and look at a blank canvas. You're going to get over that panic when you go to Michael's and you don't know if you need craft paint or master's touch or heavy body or student grade. You're going to know the answer to that. You're going to get over the doubt about showing your art to others. And you're going to get over that blank moment after you watch a tutorial and then you go to try it on your own. We got you covered. We're going to make sure you get over all that. So if you want to get started, go to paintwithshelby.com/join. We have the link is pinned currently in the comments. When you click on that link, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see this website, and I want you to go ahead and scroll down. And you're going to click that big button that says Join the Creative Circle. And you're going to choose whichever option is best for you. And don't forget, if you pick the annual option, you get 20% off, and you also get access to 9 other bonus tutorials. Just go ahead and put in your information, and then check your email for your login instructions. If you have any issues, please email us hello@shelbydillonstudio.com. Make sure to check your email. You'll get instant access, and when you get that, you can immediately log in here where it says log in, put in your login details, and then you'll have your library right here, and when you click view course, you get instant access. So you'll get access to our entire vault, over 100 painting demos, all at once immediately, and then we'll also be giving you access to the sunflower workshop and the barn and our exclusive VIP hangout. And the workshop will be, and the barn will be airing in the next couple weeks, so you'll get access to those when they air. Okay, so you're here because you showed up today for a reason. You're tired, you're overwhelmed by the next step, you try to paint something and you don't know what to do next. Maybe you're frustrated, you paint something and you can't figure out what's wrong with it. You want to stop following tutorials and creating your own work. You want to know the how and the why so that you can create things you're proud of. Whatever your reason, the Creative Circle can help get you on the journey of creating your own artwork. And you might have doubts. I want to start creating my own artwork, but I'm too old. All right, how many of our members are here? We have so many members that are in their golden years. They didn't start picking up a paintbrush until they were in their 60s or 70s. Grandma Moses is a famed artist that she didn't even start until she was in her 70s. Matisse, Monet, Picasso, all of these artists painted into their 90s. You are never too old to start painting. And I'm going to promise you, painting is much lower impact than pickleball, way fewer injuries, way fewer injuries. A lot easier to do. Maybe you think you don't have enough time. There's kids, there's family, there's work, there's laundry, there's dinner. I get it. All these things can get in the way, but self-care and nourishment for the soul is one of the most important things that we can do for others, is to take care of ourselves. Sandra, one of our members, the goat farmer, she has 72 kids. She makes sure to take care of herself so she can take care of her kids. Maybe you think you don't have any talent. I just laugh at this one. Y'all, look at my really oddly misshapen apple that's a mango. It's a skill that's developed. It's not a talent. We don't come out of the womb with extra talent. It has to be developed and it has to be worked. It's like a skill. So if you're ready to get started, go ahead and click that link. Go to paintwithshelby.com/join and go ahead and get started. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email us hello@shelbydillonstudio.com and we'll be sure to get back to you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for questions, and I am looking at the questions in the comments, so just give me a second to scroll through them. All right, so here was a great question. How do we start as a beginner when the other students are advanced and have been attending for years? That is a fabulous question, Lori. We actually have an entire beginners section that is geared towards people that have never painted before, and we tell you exactly what to do to get started. And then what I really recommend is that you lean on the community, because so many of our members started as beginners. They started out and they have a very recent memory of what it was like to be really overwhelmed and confused in the supply aisle and not know what to pick. They understand that fear of looking at a canvas and being afraid to put that brush and to make your first mark. So the community is there. They got you. and they are incredible at helping you figure out what's next. But we do have, as a beginner, if you are a beginner, we do have an entire list of lessons that we recommend that you begin with, like how to mix colors, how to work with your brush, how to start seeing and understanding value. And then we even have some specific tutorials that we know are really good for beginners and are going to help give you those skills and not feel too complicated or too difficult. Okay, so what's the difference between a monthly and an annual membership? So with an annual membership, you pay for the entire year up front, and you also get a discount. So you save almost $80 within a year. You save about $80 off, about 20%, and you prepay for the year. You also get 9 extra bonus videos that are full-length paintings. They are our workshops that we've done in the past. You get access to those instantly. I do want to point out annual memberships are non-refundable because you get access to those initial workshops, but if you ever want to cancel, you can cancel at any time. And month to month is just like Netflix. It's just like any other membership. You get access to everything for as long as you're a member. Marianne said, is this a Facebook format community? All of the lessons are available not on Facebook. All of our replays, all of our lessons, we have our own learning dashboard where you can access all of the lessons. The community portion where you interact with each other is in Facebook, and we use that because we have found most of our members are on Facebook, so that's the easy, and they check into Facebook regularly. So we've kept the community on Facebook, but the rest of the membership is on its own learning platform that can be accessed separately. And if you can't make something live, replays are always available later, and they're in the learning dashboard. Here's a great one. How long is each lesson? So the lessons, my entire goal is I want to get you painting. I don't want to make this like super long, super boring, too much. So we keep our weekly lessons. Every week you get about an hour's worth of content. That's it. The week that we have our longer painting demo, that might be an hour and a half, but in an entire week, each lesson is an hour or less. And we do that so that you can get things bite-sized, you can get moving, you can get practicing, and you can make progress. I found full 3 hours of lessons or 4 hours or 6 hours, that's too much to digest in a week. So we keep it short and sweet so that you can keep getting progress. I'm a beginner. Can I really do this? Yes. Like I said, we've had so many students that never painted before they came to us, and they're now doing their own artwork and just having a ball. And they love being in a community of other artists that are having fun and doing the same thing. So if you're a beginner, you absolutely have a place here. Do you have to have Facebook to access the Creative Circle? No. Like I said, all of the lessons are in our learning dashboard. Here's another great one. How many paintings do I get to paint? Well, as of right now, you can paint over 100 paintings. I don't have the exact total, but you get instant access to 100 paintings. Some of them are longer, more involved. Some of them are just small, quick studies. It depends on how much time and what sort of attention span you have for the day. And then every month we release 2 new paintings. You get one smaller painting demo and then a larger format painting. So every month you get access to 2 new paintings to paint for your enjoyment. All right, let's see. I'm scrolling through the comments. Yes, we always have replays. Rosanna, it's so good to see you. You have been such an incredible member. Rosanna is one of our Creative Circle members, and she is in her golden years and doing an amazing job. I love this. Sharon says painting daily has lowered her blood pressure. That's incredible. Okay, I'm not seeing a whole lot more questions. If y'all have any further questions, go ahead and email us hello@shelbydillonstudio.com and we'll get back to you and let you know if there's anything that we can do. If you would like to join us in the Creative Circle, right now you would get access, instant access to our sunflower, or not, or not talking. I'm not talking well today. Our palm tree. We just did a palm tree together, and that dropped today. So that is available, plus 100 other painting demos. So if you'd like to join us, go ahead and join today. This is available for 24 hours only. I look forward to all of y'all that are joining. Don't forget to go to paintwithshelby.com/join, and we hope to see you there. And once again, I hope you learned some incredible stuff today. Just know that I am going to be cheering you on no matter what. This has been an absolute joy to be with y'all today, and have a fabulous afternoon. All right. Bye, y'all.